Welcome back to another sizzling, scorchy, slightly sweaty edition of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
And sweat, because it is hot.
Oh my God. The heat index is like triple digits.
Yeah, it is early July here in Huntsville, Alabama, and the heat and humidity have come.
Yes.
And we are sweaty. Oh, it's pretty brutal. I will say, I don't think it's as hot. I mean, I would say this is as hot as it was best.
Yeah.
Because it was about 95 and very humid. Mm-hmm. There was always a breeze, if I remember correctly, but it was like not in the middle of the buildings where you couldn't be reached.
I mean, we were in buildings most of the time,
yeah.
So.
But, yeah, it's hot here.
Yeah.
I was talking to Justin about it. I was like, yeah, if we were in Houston, it'd be closer to 100 and it'd be this level humid since May.
Yeah.
So, God. My mom moved here from Houston, and someone asked me, it's like, would you ever move back to Houston? Fucking million years would I live to Houston again. I'd visit during the winter and fall and early spring, but never during the summer. Yeah. I won't even go to New Orleans, and I love that city.
Yeah. No, because it amplifies. Yeah. The stinkiness of Bourbon Street.
Yes. Ugh,
if it's hot.
Cook that piss.
Yeah. Ugh. No, thank you.
All right. Well, please, for all our 25 listeners, please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
Yes, we are getting pretty good views on our TikToks. And we're doing cocktail reviews, and we're trying to go through our wine advent calendar and go through those god-awful wines.
Yep, and I apologize for my face, but Jason has made me get onto the...
I made her.
You did.
You can't see it in the video, but Kalia's got a gun.
On my back.
Pointed right at her.
Saying, you better talk, bitch.
Make them laugh.
No. I don't know if I do that. She just says, you better talk.
Dance, monkey, dance.
That's right.
Well, I know, like, when we first started this back in 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Shut up. 2022, you were not ever excited about video, and I wasn't super crazy about it either, but I was like, video is still kind of a ways off, just because, like, Jennifer and I are recording, for our 25 listeners, Jennifer and I are recording this in my kitchen great room area.
Yep.
Like, the refrigerator is literally 5 feet behind Jennifer.
Yep.
And we always have to tell the kids to, like, go to the rooms, shut up, don't make noise. Mm-hmm. And
they don't listen most of the time, but it's okay.
So if you hear burbling in the background, it's probably Wesley yelling at his tablet. But eventually, when we're going to take over a room, we'll we'll set up for video equipment and have it kind of stationary and set, and don't have to move it all.
Right.
So that's what the goal. We're still not making any money off this. Like, this is just us having a good old time.
Yep. Drinking, eating, talking. I'm very good at the talking part.
So this is if we ever, the minute I earn a whiff of money, I'll be like, oh, let's get some professional cameras. But for right now, it's just like, you get to see us on TikTok, record on my Android phone.
And be happy with that, because that was hard for Jennifer to be talked into, but it is what it is. And I do this for you because I love you with all of my heart. You are my bestest friend in the world, and I would do anything for you. And you help me so much that I don't mind doing it for you.
It's not terrible, though, is it? Do you feel like it's gotten easier recording them?
I mean, as long as I don't really think about it, and I won't look at comments or anything like that, I'm okay.
I've never,
because it's just me and you in the kitchen drinking. I'm okay with that part.
I haven't seen any comments yet.
Okay.
Unless I've left them myself. Because I'm trying to improve the algorithms. I'll go look at our own videos and I'm like, let me heart and comment on this so people will view it. But I will say the ones where we stitch or duet people is the one where we get the most views.
Gotcha.
And that's fine. It's to be expected because we're just some little rinky-dink little podcast.
Yeah.
And, we don't have... I told Jennifer this when we first started. It was like, this is just a passion project. Mm-hmm. This is us being bored during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Let's just have some fun. If we never earn a cent off this, fine. I spent more money on stupider shit than this.
Right.
So, like, I'm happy to just hang out with my friend, chat, have a drink or two. Mm-hmm. And it really doesn't... Like, we've gotten so good at it now, like, quick at it. like it really doesn't take us that long to record an episode anymore.
Not really.
I mean, it like, you know, we know how to like knock everything out. We kind of have a process down. So, and
You've gotten better with the equipment and recording and saving. I mean, I'm not like Zane that says, you know, you need to save at every episode just because you did it one time, the very first fucking podcast. But that was actually a blessing in disguise, because the very first one that you didn't record probably was bad because it was, you know, just our very first time.
I definitely think we've gotten better at this. Like
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope people agree. I mean, you know.
We're at I think we're at 73 episodes now. So we're I suspect we'll hit 100 probably at the new year.
Wow.
Around that time.
Look at us go.
So I'm proud of, like, I'm having fun.
Oh, yeah.
And like we've said it before, if it never earns any money, we just had a good time doing it.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. We met some fun people.
And we have met some really cool guests.
Yeah.
And apparently there's people around the world that like to listen to us talk. So, like, I'm very proud of the Saskatchewan peoples that like to listen to us.
Yes, from Canada. And, well, I was going to say Ontario's caught up. So it's Ontario and Saskatchewan are both at 60 downloads each. So thank you to our
Canadian listeners.
Yeah. We're going to have we haven't aired it yet, but we're going to have a Canadian on the podcast soon, Miss Tara.
Yeah. Okay.
Her episode comes out like 6 weeks, but yeah.
Okay.
Got some we're going international.
Oh, okay. So we got to drink some Molson. And say A.
And have some poutine.
Well, I mean, you can get that in Holland, so that's just fine, you know. No, we used to.
Sweet pussy.
I guess
poutine.
Was it Canadian Bacon, the show with John Candy, and I don't know. There was a
Martin Short.
There was a movie back in the day, and then like me and my friends used to call it Canada. So if I offended anybody with Canada, I apologize. It was just something that we've been doing forever. And then the A in the Molson was like very intricate part of whenever we talked about a Canadian. I don't know why. It was when I was in my 20s, so I don't remember that far back, you know. But that was like all I knew about Canada. Like, it takes me a second to think of Canada. And
say it right.
I've learned a lot more since then, since my 20s, but that still sticks. Yep. The Canada, the Molson, and the A.
Well, to all our 2 Canadian listeners, thank you for listening to all our episodes. Thank
Definitely,
you for all the downloads.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
And our Benjamin, who listens to everyone.
Yes. And my mom, although I did tell her when Tara comes on, she's not allowed to listen to that one. That was brief.
I think she can still listen to it. She might have to, like, fast forward.
She's good. I'll go over to her house. She's like, those are some ugly words you're saying.
As long as she doesn't chastise me for my fuck, I'm okay. Because I say that like at least 10 times a podcast.
She and I were hanging out the other day, and she's like, I think I was like, she remembered, we were talking about Houston and how when my grandmother moved to Houston, like into, frankly, was downtown and was the suburbs back in the day. Mm-hmm. Like she had seen the word fuck in graffiti around her.
Is this your mom or your
mom?
Okay.
She was probably like 13, 12,
oh, okay.
there.
Okay.
So a kid. And she's like, I remember seeing it, but I didn't know what it meant. And she's like, I don't think I said it till I was an adult. And I was like, Mom.
Wow.
Using them ugly words.
I was like 12.
I don't remember when I started cussing.
Well, the only reason why I remember 12 is because we just moved back to the States, and I walked in the door, and I had cut my finger as I walked through the door, and I said, fuck. Like, really fucking loud. Yeah. And my mom was like, What did you say? And I was like, fudge. And she was like, look. I know you're going to cuss, because that's what kids do. Just do not do it around me, other adults, or people of authority, and you'll be okay.
That's what I told her.
And now I still don't cuss in front of my mom. If I do, I'm like, I'm so sorry, Mom, I said shit. You know, like, it won't even be like a big bad word. It'll be like, you know, hell or damn or shit. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, because of what she said when I was 12.
Yeah.
And that's 30 plus years ago. I would never say cunt around my mom, I don't think.
Kalia, we've had that same conversation with Kalia. I was like, don't do it around me. It's like, I know you're going to do it on your friends. It's fine. Try not to insult them if you can, but don't say it around me. Definitely don't say it around your great grandparents.
Yeah.
And try not to say it around too much. But there's a song that Kalia likes to listen to sometimes, and it's kind of it's stupid and catchy. But the lady will say "icon," and she's like "icon." She repeats the word "icon," and then she'll say "cunt" at the end. And I'm like, "Oh, Kalia knows what that means."
Did you ask her?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, I probably will. I'm like, maybe, do you know what that means?
Well, I mean, usually you do. That's why, because apparently there was one thing about the queef.
Yeah.
And you wanted to make sure she understood, and then Anaconda, you made sure she understood, and she did not like either.
Oh, she hates
either
it when I
of
explain
those.
that shit
But
to her. Oh, she hates
but
it.
it's better than her walking around, saying my Anaconda don't want none. Mm-hmm.
But she always takes it as like I'm telling her not to do it. I just want you to be aware, baby.
Right.
I was like,
I mean, eventually she'll figure that part out,
Yeah.
but it's better you explaining it to her now than her saying it at school or at church camp that she's going to right now. We definitely don't want that there, But yeah, so yeah. Remember to follow. We didn't get that part.
Oh,
yet.
I didn't. Okay, so I thought I had.
Nope.
All right. Well, please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Twitter, Facebook, TikTok
I did
at
say
Poor
that because
Parent
we were
Pod.
talking about you being on videos.
No, we didn't get that far.
Benjamin, write in.
Tell if I'm right, then write in and tell Jason he's wrong. If I'm wrong, then don't say nothing at all. All right. How has your week been, Jason?
It's been pretty good. Mom's birthday, her 82nd birthday was on the 29th. So I took her to go see Leanne Morgan.
Happy birthday, Mama Ruth.
Happy birthday, Mama. So it was fun. Leanne Morgan is a...
Leanne who?
Morgan.
Morgan. Okay.
Leanne Morgan. There's a country star named Lori Morgan. That's people get that confused. But Leanne she's a comedian, stand-up comedian. She's real funny. Country, clean,
right?
Yep. The dirtiest word she said was butthole. But she country as a biscuit. Oh my Lord, she makes my mother-in-law look like a city girl. But she got a heavy Tennessee accent. She's up in Northeast Tennessee near Knoxville, so probably where Benjamin's at.
Okay.
Funny as all get out. She's Mom and I were driving to downtown and we're trying to find parking, and I was like, oh God, the main parking garage for the Von Braun Center was full, so I ended up parking in the parking garage over by the Big Spring Park, and there's this like little tiny spot where you can kind of sneak in if you have a handicap sticker, and Mom did, so I was able to sneak us in. But like every time we made a turn, there was like the crosswalk was full of like middle-aged white women, and I was like, yeah, this is a Leanne Morgan show.
What our friend Jason.
David and Jason,
yeah. Who was on the podcast.
Yeah, David was. Yep.
Yeah, David was, he had posted on Facebook, and he was like, it smells like Bengay and Estee Lauder. And he said something about broken hips.
Yeah.
But yeah, they went too, as well. I think they went to the night show, and y'all went to the matinee, but...
Yeah, Leanne was...
Mama was on her scooter, and other people were on their scooters too, so,
She did good. We got in there, and Leanne was making a joke. She's like, "Don't y'all love these 4 o'clock shows? I'm gonna have y'all home and in bed by 7 o'clock." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, that's what I want."
That's what, and it's funny because you're like probably one of the younger people in the crowd.
Yeah.
Compared to to your
Well, surprisingly, there was quite a few gay men. I saw quite a few gay male couples in the audience. I know, shocking.
David and Jason. What?
I didn't see them, but I did see. I was like, they're a gay couple. But it was a lot of fun. She's a hoot and a holler. Mom was. She was like, I wish we were. They had. She told me they wish they had a screen behind her so they could see her face. Because you couldn't see her face super clearly because we were at the back of the auditorium. At a good spot, like you just walk in and our seat was right there.
Right.
And didn't have too many stairs, which is great because my mom's got a bad hip. But we were a little bit far away, fine with me because you're just listening to it.
you just listen to the,
but Mom, Leanne was talking about her special on Netflix and home, so she went and watched it. It's like, well, now I know what she looks like.
That's funny.
She had a good time.
Good.
I can't believe she's 82.
And still rolling around.
Although her sisters are 89 and 87, so I suspect Mom will make it to that age.
She's still, from what I've heard, the most, not like, because Faye can't really hear.
Oh.
And so Mom's good on that.
Yeah.
That part of it, at least, you know. And then Glenda, I've never met.
Yeah.
So
Glenda is, Mom always says she's a hypochondriac, and she's in the hospital constantly because she also gets UTIs pretty frequently. So
I mean, she's also almost 90 years old, right? Because she's the oldest of them, right?
Faye is the oldest.
Oh, Faye's the 89-year-old.
Yeah, Faye's the 89. Glenda was in the hospital recently because she broke her vertebrae, I think, actually.
Shit.
It was. I don't think it was terrible, but she had like fallen, and it was a while back, and she just figured it out.
Yeah.
But I would say Glenda and Mom are probably about the same mobility. Mom's actually probably a little bit worse just because of her hip; she can't walk as far.
And her knee. Well, she just had knee surgery,
so
the
knee's fine.
She's recuperating from that. Yeah. So I mean, that kind of.
Yeah.
And her thumb and.
Yeah.
And then she has vertebrae issues too, doesn't she? Back issues?
She's got a bulging disc.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
it's things that she can't help, but she still does things.
Yeah, she's still pretty active. She still drives herself, and Glenda can't drive herself.
We'll see. So Mama's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that because I love Mama Ruth. I do. She's been on the podcast now twice, and I've done things. We've all hung out before, and I just love Mama Ruth to death. She's just awesome. She's an awesome person. Yeah, and she has an amazing story, even if she doesn't think she does. I do. So that's all that matters, is what I think.
Agree.
Yes.
But we were talking about Faye. Poor Faye is deaf as a doornail. Yeah. And she threw away the hearing aids that her husband got her.
No.
This is a while back.
Oh.
So, but she has some like cheap ones that are just kind of, and they work, but she always forgets to put them in. So I try to call her every Friday, and it's just her screaming at me because she thinks she's talking, she's getting her volume up so she can hear herself, I guess.
Right.
And I'm just like, I have to yell back at her so she can hear me. But I can tell she can barely hear me. And she's blind too. She's got, what is that? Not detached, macular degeneration. Mm-hmm. So she can't see anymore. And she's just, but every time I call her, she's like, well, I guess it's like, I'm blessed. It could be so much worse. I guess.
I mean, I praise you for calling. You call everybody. Like, you don't care. You're like, I'm on a walk. I'm going to call. I have a set date that I'm going to call this person because I want to just check in. I don't do that.
I don't know anyone that does it, really.
I really don't know anyone that does it either besides you. And every time I hear that you do it, I'm like, you know what? I should do that, but I'm not going to fucking do it.
Even my own mom's like, I was like, have you called your sisters? No. I'm like, call your damn sister, Mom.
Yeah, and then you even keep touch with your dad's side of the family. Mm-hmm. Like Aunt Nancy.
Martha.
You call her, and I love Aunt Nancy. She's awesome.
She's a hoot and a holler.
She is, and I mean, like you have that like set Feege, Michael. Faye, like there's everybody for a day of the week that you're doing driving and you're like, you know what, I'm calling somebody right now because I don't really care about music, so I'm just going to talk. And I'm the complete opposite.
You're not alone. Like Michael can't stand it because I call incessantly.
Right.
And he just wants to sit, after a day of work, he just wants to listen to music. And I'm like, no, we're going to talk. Yeah. If you and I at this point, if like you moved away or I moved away, I'd be calling.
Yeah, but I'm just following your ass wherever you move to. I know,
but I'm just saying I would be calling you.
No, you wouldn't, because I'd be in your living room and we'd be doing this fucking podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
So Leanne Morgan, mom's 82. Mm-hmm. She's doing good.
Yep.
What else? And Kalia's in a summer camp at the church summer camp, and I was last summer. She was in a tennis camp. It was great because it was $150 for 8 weeks. Reading
and tennis. Yeah. I mean, so she's active and she's also reading. So it was perfect.
And it was a half day camp, so she was doing something. She still has time to come home. Perfect. This summer, she's like, she didn't want to do the tennis camp. I didn't feel like forcing it on, and I couldn't get her into the city one, which is $50 a week, which is cheap as hell.
And all day.
Yeah.
And they just play.
Yeah. So I got her into like 2 specialty camps with the city, and then I found this church camp, which is like about $150 a week, and it's like it's a little pricey, but frankly, it's not that bad for most of the day camp because it's 8 to 3. But I really wasn't paying attention to where it was. I just saw it, and when I got there, I was like, oh, it's a church. And Kalia, when we first showed up to the church, I was like, Kalia, I'm not telling you to do anything. Like, you have to figure out your own judgment on this one, but you might want to keep it under wraps that Granddad and Grandpa are a gay couple. Because some
you have 2 grandpas?
Yeah, some churches are not cool with that.
Yep.
And I was like, just a suggestion, you might want to not talk about LGBT stuff. And I think it was warranted because one of her teachers was talking about Jojo Siwa doing ungodly things and unchristlike things.
Yes, and I didn't know any of this. So she comes out and she's like, oh, and then I have to go to church camp. And then these boys are like, are you a boy? And she's like, no, I'm a girl. And then, are you a tomboy? I think I am. And do you like girls? And she says, no. And I look at her and I'm like, I thought you liked girls. Well, Grandpa said I couldn't say it. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I didn't realize I put my foot in it because
you didn't put your foot in it.
I didn't really know. And I was like, I always want her to be her authentic self. And then she's like, well, I'm kind of glad I didn't say it because the lady's mean and she makes us sing this song every day. And, she loves to exaggerate and
hyperbole
over like this is so bad, and it's probably like a 2-second song, but in her mind it lasts all fucking day. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't know this, so you do whatever Grandpa says. I didn't know what else to say because I always want her to be her true self, but then again, I don't want her to be judged harshly because the lady sounds like she's the
I think she's either the pastor's wife or she's the pastor.
I just thought of Trunchbull.
No.
From, Matilda. I thought evil lady.
No, I think more you're probably more like your mom, but a little bit more judgmental, kind of strict.
But my mom wouldn't care if she liked girls.
Well, I know, but more judgmental. Maybe how about that? Your mom, but more judgmental. Because your mom's kind of strict, right?
No.
No? Okay. Then I don't know.
So,
all right.
You just don't talk about my mom.
Think about school principal. Strict.
Yeah, but the way that I heard Trunchbull, she's going to take her by the dreads and swing her around or make her eat her whole fucking cake. No,
she's
that's what I'm thinking.
She's just a strict older black woman, but she's nice.
Is she?
Yeah, I've talked to her a few times. She's nice.
Okay,
but
I get scared.
Yeah,
and with Kalia being black and possibly bi, lesbian, I don't. Who knows? Whatever she wants to be, I want her to be her true self, but also I want her to be safe.
Yeah.
And so, in certain circumstances, what you said is warranted.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of keep home life separate, church and state.
Yeah. Well, and I told her, I was like, you can talk about it. And after she said that to you, I was like, Kalia, I didn't say you couldn't talk about it. I said you might want to keep it to yourself.
Right.
And I was like, it is up to you. You have to express your own judgment here. But some churches are not supportive of LGBT people. And if you go around saying it, and it is one of those churches, it's going to be an uncomfortable 2 weeks for you.
Right. And I don't want her to be uncomfortable. And I didn't want to put my foot in it and be like, do you, baby girl, say who you are, and then be like, oh, shit, no, you shouldn't have done that.
Well, had it been had she said, oh, yeah, I'm bisexual, and they started being really rude to her, I wouldn't have let her experience that. But
you wouldn't have known until you picked her up.
Yeah.
So I just didn't. I don't want anyone to mess with my baby girl.
Oh, I don't either. But yeah, I know.
I was like, oh shit. I should have talked to Jason before I had this conversation.
No, there was nothing to put your foot into.
I know, but it felt like it because it was just like, oh, Grandpa said. And I was like, oh, fuck, what did Grandpa say, Because we're very inclusive.
Yeah.
And very diverse. So we don't fucking care. Yeah. Whatever. If you're a lesbian, woohoo, you won't get pregnant. We're good. That kind of thing. But an Alabama church, you never know what the fuck you're going to get. Trunchbull might be telling her she's going to hell because she got 2 gay grandparents. We don't know. So what you said is probably for the best, but I was unaware of any of it, so
Yeah.
I was just more, be yourself, baby girl, pride, yay, you know?
Well, I don't ever advocate people going out of the closet, but at the same time, it's like, you know, like when I've seen younger kids wanting to come out, I was like, you have to judge for yourself if you're safe to do so. And I don't think Kalia is in danger at this church. I just don't want her, like, you just never know with an Alabama church, with a church in general.
Yes.
And an Alabama church especially.
Yes.
So I'm just like, I don't know what the situation is. You may, you know, caution is usually the better way to go in that situation.
Right. It's kind of like the cussing thing.
Yeah.
You know who you can cuss around and you know who you can't cuss around.
Yep.
So in this instance, you know who you can say, I like girls, and who you can say, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to lie. You just, you know, I don't want to talk about it. That's it.
Yep.
That's all you got to do. And in Alabama, that's kind of the best way to think about it, I think, is just kind of keep it as the, you know, we don't cuss around adults, so we're not going to talk about our sexuality around adults, in essence. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tricky, I mean.
It's so hard for her.
Well, and like, you know.
I mean, anybody.
Sexuality, trans people are in a different situation because a lot of times they can't hide that part of it, but like sexuality is kind of like, unless you talk about it, no one's going to know usually. So it's like,
That's
sometimes you have, for your own safety, you have to
just keep your mouth shut. But I mean, I've been called a sir so many fucking times in my life.
You got called sir on the cruise.
I used to kind of hurt my feelings probably around my 20s. Because I was like, dude, I am wearing like, so when I was a teenager, I had really, really long hair. I wore baggy ass clothes, like extra large shirts. What the fuck was I thinking? I don't know. Baggy pants, whatever. And then in my 20s, it was more tighter fitting pants, kind of crop top shirts. How the fuck you don't know that I'm a girl?
They just thought you were a little twink.
Well, I also had really short hair, and the short hair, even when I had long hair, didn't fucking matter. But when I have short hair, it's very, oh, you're a dude. And before, I'd say 2023, and I had an ass and boobs. You cannot call me a fucking sir. Yeah, Come on now.
You are very curvaceous. As long as I've known you, you were. And I've
been wearing more form-fitting clothes, so I'm like, the fuck are you looking at that tells you I'm a dude? But then I'm like, I just talk, and I feel like I have a very high-pitched voice.
You have a very feminine voice.
And, well, I mean, I think it's kind of high-pitched. So I was you would think I'm a girl just because I'm fucking talking to you, and then I get a sir. I'm like, But then I'm in the drive-thru, and I'm like, thank you, sir. And I roll up, and it's a girl. I'm like, oh, fuck, I did it, too. So it happens. Yeah. And you just have to roll with it. But she gets butthurt when she gets called a boy.
Well, what's funny, though, is lately she's like, how do you know I'm not trans? I'm like, because you get so fucking butthurt about being called a boy. That's how I know you're not goddamn trans.
Well, I mean, that's true, but... So she just, I mean, it takes a while, to be honest, because it took me a long time not to get offended by it. Just wanting to be like, dude, I'm a girl. Yeah. I got boobs and I got an ass. I can't say that right now.
Well, you still have hips, though.
Well, yeah, but it just, they don't, whoever is talking to you doesn't fucking care enough to look, so it really doesn't fucking matter, in my opinion.
Yeah. And if they're not paying your bills, pay them no one never mind.
I mean, no one's ever paying my bills but me, but no. I mean, when I was a child, yeah, but I am 43.
Yeah. So she paid your bills. Give her some attention.
No.
Anyway, how's your week, dear? We're 30 minutes in this goddamn podcast.
I know. Well, you started it off by, after a talk about shit about our kids, you just went in.
Girl, just tell me how your week is.
So, Germany tomorrow is going to be playing in the semifinals in the Euro Cup. What? I have to fucking work. I am very upset about this, that I don't get to watch it live.
So, Benjamin and I should not be texting you the score?
If you do, fuck this podcast and fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I would be very upset if you did, because that would suck ass. But I'm going to wear my Deutschland shirt, not my jersey, because I don't think work would. I don't know. I feel weird about wearing my jersey to work, but I'm going to wear a t-shirt. which is usually fine with work that just says Deutschland on it. So I can be like representing, but not overly representing with a jersey, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we're casual now. We can wear jeans and tennies. Just can't wear shorts. So I'm excited about that. I hope you win. By the time this comes out, it's over anyways. That's all.
Okay.
That's my week. I'm ready for tomorrow. Today is the 4th of July.
Yes.
So tonight we will see fireworks. I hope my son's not an asshole because it'll be way past his bedtime. And then we have the pediatrician tomorrow. I have work and then it'll be the weekend. So hopefully we'll be good for all of it.
And this weekend, we're going to record our first remote podcast.
I know. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, it should be fun. We're going to have my friend Judith. Her episode will come out in 3 months.
August?
Yeah, probably August, September. But we're...
Did you say 3 months or 3 weeks?
3 months.
Oh, damn. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, because
So October?
I don't know. I'm thinking it'll either be September. It'll probably be September before her episode comes out.
Damn.
Well, because we're
doing good.
Yeah, we're already like, because the next guest episode we have is Jess, and that's going to be in the middle of July, and then Tara's will be middle of August or early August.
Okay.
And then, so I guess Judas will be it will be late August is when hers will.
We're doing really good.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us.
And then we have some, a couple of authors that we're going to hopefully have still. One who actually contacted me, so I know he's still interested.
Yep.
One, I'm hopeful I can still get her. She wrote what seems like a real funny book. So, and then a local friend of ours wrote a book.
Yeah. And we're going to try, Judith is going to be our experiment.
Yeah.
And I've never met Judith, but she sounds like a hoot and holler.
Yep,
just from stories that you've told me about her. And that'll be our first to see how we do remotely.
Yep.
Because that'll be a new phase of our podcast. Because we've gotten many people who want to be on the podcast, but just don't live near us.
Yeah.
To like come to the living room. Our great room area. So I'm excited to start doing that because then we can branch out and meet all kinds of new people. Because that's what I love about this podcast is meeting all these awesome people.
Yeah, agreed.
And then you saying, hey, this person is going to be on the podcast. Oh, I know you. With Molly, I didn't even, because you just said Molly. I was like, okay, Molly's coming, whatever. And she's like, I know you. Yeah, I know you kind of thing. So that was kind of cool. And then like just meeting all the fun people. So
yeah, I'm excited. It should be fun.
About that.
And I have a coworker who's going to come on named Lisa. She's a hoot and holler too. I like her a lot. Talk about New Jersey from our last episode. Jennifer was talking about the lady from the cruise.
Yeah,
the lady
Najazi.
I'm the type of person that will imitate accents without meaning to.
I am as well.
And she has a New Jersey accent. Not like super strong, but she's got one. And every now and then she'll say something very New Jersey and I'll be like, Joyzy? And I'll just like imitate it. And I was like, I hope it doesn't come off as insulting, but I love the way it sounds and I'll imitate it. So we're excited.
Yeah. Well, I'm an Army rat, so I had to kind of fit in where I could fit in.
Yep.
So I pick up accents and if I hear it a lot, I will say it. I took my brother to South Carolina probably 5-10 years ago to visit my aunt who's full German, my mom's sister. And there was probably 6 Germans in the house. And then we stayed with the German. So we were surrounded by Germans. And then on the way home, my brother was like, you know you're talking in a German accent, right? Am I really?
That's so funny.
He said, you said und, which means and, so many times. And I was like, did I really? He was like, yes. And I was like, I'm sorry. He was like, no, I just wanted to, let you know in case you didn't know. And I was like, nope, I didn't know because when you're around it, it just kind of comes. And then I was apparently speaking German and English to my brother and didn't realize I had threw in some German words. Luckily, he took German in high school, so he knew what I was saying. But he's like, you threw in German words too. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I was like, okay. So I do the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more extreme when it comes to Germans just because of how I grew
your
up.
Family,
but I want to speak in a British accent. Anytime I watch, if I see the whole season of Downton Abbey, I'm like, wanting to speak in a British accent.
When I visited my friend in England, I was talking. And there was an American guy there too, and he had one too. So it was just like, I think it's also, there's a phenomenon of, not mimicking, but like you pick up the cadence and the rhythm of someone's speech. And so I think if you just have a good ear, you'll pick up the accent.
Yep.
When we were in addition, Pride Week, or Pride, just the LGBT Pride Month just ended, and we went to the Pride Parade last weekend. And while we were there, we had a good time. But Kalia was like, speaking a Russian accent, Granddad. I was like, I got to hear someone talk because I can't. I was like, that accent, I have to have a reminder sometimes because I can't always just like throw one out. But
yeah, just say vodka.
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 Vodka. I know you got to roll those R's.
Das Vidanya.
Oh, that does not sound German or Russian at all.
Isn't that the word?
Das Vidanya is, but in the way you said it.
Oh, I was being silly.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't being for real.
Oh, okay.
I've not really ever hung out with a Russian, so I can't say that I've picked that up before.
I have a coworker who's from Uzbekistan, I think, and he's got he grew up under the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So he's got a bit of what I would consider a Russian accent. Mm-hmm. So every time I talk to him, it's like
you start kind of picking it up a little bit.
No, because we're not super close. But I think of that accent when I think of a Russian.
I gotcha.
So
you have
Jennifer's making hand motions.
A person to think of.
Oh yeah.
I do not.
Yeah.
Even though apparently Patrick took Russian.
Oh.
At ASFL, which is
magnet school here in Huntsville.
Yeah, the Academy for Science and Foreign Languages, and he loved Russian.
Oh, okay.
And he wanted to take Russian in high school, and they didn't have Russian, so he had to take German. And I was like, oh, poor baby. But he really enjoyed Russian.
Cool. Our friend, for our poor listeners who were just having to listen in, Jennifer and I gab about our friends and family.
That's what we're doing right now.
Our friend Louise, he actually took German in high school or college, I think. And I remember when we first started hanging out, he was talking about German and trying to learn it a bit.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he may still know a little bit.
I've known Louise for like 10 years.
Something like that, yeah.
And I never knew that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start speaking German to Louise.
All right, so we talked about our week. So let's see. This week, this is one of our famous Reddit. Poor Jennifer's struggling with the bottle. Oh, we haven't introduced what we're drinking today.
No, you're skipping everything.
I am. I'm just terrible. All right, so Miss Jennifer, what are we drinking today?
Oh, Lord. So we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee 5 years ago. Like right when we got the kids is when I'm thinking we got this. Because we had some drama. Like all the kids wanted to hang on me, so... Wesley was Jason's at one point, and I was Kalia's where we had to sit next to each other because they were just being overly extra. Yeah. I don't know what it is. But we kind of snuck in some moonshine tastings and then some cider tastings. So we are drinking a cider. We got 5.
It's still good, though.
Awesome. Tennessee Cider Company. It's a hard cider. It's blueberry. It is heart and sweet.
Yep.
And it is... Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Yep, I love it.
And if you want to see a picture of the bottle, look at...
It'll come out check out our Instagram and TikTok.
We'll have it on. Yeah, the Instagram is the picture. TikTok is where we talk about how yummy it is. But yeah, I love it.
There's
as hot as it is. This is very, very refreshing.
Yeah, usually on our TikToks and our YouTube, I'll post our TikToks. I will take the Instagram photo and make a cover image with the alcohol, the picture that Jennifer takes. So every time we record, Jennifer will snap a photo and then upload it to our drive, our cloud drive, and then I take that image and make some edits to it to put it in like a picture frame and then put it on our Instagram. So but you'll see it. It's really good. I was amazed I was worried because most of those Tennessee the Tennessee moonshines, in my mind, are kind of gross. Like the liqueur ones, like the peanut butter and jelly. Those are too sweet for me.
Zane loves them.
Yeah, Zane does love them.
I don't know if you heard me. I'm sorry. Zane loves those.
Yeah, he does love them. I find them a little too much for me. The ciders can either be really sickly sweet or perfect. And this one's perfect. Yeah. Got that nice tartness. So I love it.
And we were tasting these, probably spent like $5 on a tasting, or it was free. I don't remember which, but I happened to say, I really like this one, and the boys went and bought it for me. And for some reason, it took me 5 years to drink it.
Yeah, it's been sitting in our refrigerator for...
And that's probably why, because I didn't realize it was in y'all's fridge.
Yeah.
I just probably forgot about it, to be honest. I love you guys for buying it for me, but it is perfect.
Yeah.
For the weather that we have right now, it is refreshing, it's cool, it's yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I saw is because Jennifer and I are trying to work through our wine advent calendar for the wine reviews on TikTok, and
we get a little tired of bland and not so good stuff.
So I was putting some whites in there to cool because I was thinking, oh, we'll need them, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, to buy another one, I'll buy another bottle of wine. It'll be perfect.
There you go.
Okay, so we've had our cocktail, and we've discussed for the last 45 minutes how our week's going.
Yeah.
So I think we're only going to have time for maybe one, maybe two
really?
Reddit posts. So you go first, and I'll read the second one.
Okay. So I am going to read. Oops. Looks like it to be a semi-short one. My son and his girlfriend cuddling. How much is too much? Let's see.
Leave enough room for the Holy Spirit.
My 15-year-old and son, his girlfriend. And I think that's kind of wrong. I want to say that it's supposed to be my 15-year-old son and his girlfriend have been spending a lot of time together. We require the door open always and a decent line of sight. They cuddle on his bed and watch TV. The first day he had a bunch of hickeys. Ooh, go boy. All right, new rule. Next time I see hickeys, this all ends. Haven't seen any since. It started as big spoon, little spoon cuddling. Today I went in and she was sitting with him between her legs, hugging her and laying with his head on her. I was like, yo, that's a bit much. Okay. For context, we also have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old. I don't want them seeing inappropriate things. I know whoever wrote this did not write it grammatically correct. It says, I know they teen is sexually active. So I'm guessing they mean, I know the teen is sexually active. We've had the talk. He has access to birth control. She has the arm implant. So I guess I'm asking how much cuddling is too much cuddling. Should I be making them sit 3 feet apart? I was a teen once. Hell, his father and I are high school sweethearts going 17 years strong. My husband wants them to never touch, but I think that is, I don't know, a bit hard ass. I may be in the wrong. Okay, so for the listeners, this is the first time I've ever read this, so I apologize for me correcting their grammar because that is just who I am. The boy is 15. I don't know how old the girlfriend is. The door is open. They're not going to have full-on sex, I hope, with the door open and a line of sight. Hickeys, okay, whatever. A 4 and 5-year-old, well, you should be watching the 4 and 5-year-old. So they're not going to see anything inappropriate, I don't think. Cuddling is cuddling. I mean, unless you're going to see bare ass up in the air, like, I mean, I don't know.
I will say, I kind of got tickled with the husband. It's like they should know touching. But, you know, if the wife and the husband were high school sweethearts, I'm betting they were fucking in high school.
Right. And they talked about birth control and she has an arm implant. You already know all of this.
Yeah.
And the 15-year-old is sexually active. They're not going to be...
Well, they don't know the 15-year-old sexually active.
Well, that's what I said.
Oh, did it? I didn't.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get to it.
I know they teen is sexually active. Oh, I guess they are.
Yeah.
All right, well...
I mean, the wording is just wrong grammatically, but they know he's sexually active. She has an arm implant, so they know they're having sex. They've talked with the 15-year-old about condoms, birth control.
Well, I mean...
But they're not going to do it with the fucking door open, I don't think.
I mean, I don't know. Like, if you know your kid's sexually active, and they're, like, all you're doing is preventing them from having sex in a bed.
Right.
So they're going to go sneak off someplace.
And do it in a car.
Yeah. I'm like, you're not stopping. Just embrace it and be like...
Close your fucking door so the 4 and 5-year-old doesn't see it.
Yeah. And, like... chill out on the hickeys, maybe, but just because that's tacky, but not because I'm like, there's no judgment there.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, like, when, admittedly, very different situation for me because I got Justin when he was 17. Yeah. But when he had a girlfriend, I was like, come over, you can have sex with her. I even heard them having sex one time and had to tell them to, like, calm it down because I was like, Jesus Christ, y'all two are not that, they weren't moaning, but I just kept hearing up. I was like, y'all, stop slamming your bony bodies together, please. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you know he's sexually active, all you're doing is preventing them from having sex in a bed. So you're not stopping anything.
And they're just, right now, they're just cuddling. Let them fucking cuddle.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of like, just let him close the door and fuck, and then
cuddle afterwards.
Yeah. I'm like, this is like, I don't know. I'm pretty liberal when it comes to that sort of stuff, especially if you know she's on birth control and you like, you better have a goddamn condom on that dick.
Right.
And here's some plan B just in case if something happens. But I don't know. I heard in like the Nordic countries, they're super permissive anyway, but like it's not uncommon for high school students to like, if they're dating, to spend the night at each other's house pretty regularly.
Right.
And I'm like, frankly, if Kalia gets to the age of 15, 16, she's got a boyfriend, I'm like, I don't mind if you two sleeping together. Just be respectful of the noise level. Make sure you're wearing a goddamn condom.
Right. Protection.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, it's important. Sexuality is important. And I think the mother here, I'm assuming it's the mother.
No, the dad was the hard ass.
No, but I think the mother wrote it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would imagine the mom wrote it. Yeah.
But I think you're fooling yourself if you think you're stopping it.
No, I don't think she's thinking that. She just said, my husband wants them to never touch. But I think that is, I don't know, a bit hard ass. I may be in the wrong here.
Yeah.
So I think she's just trying to get a little bit of, hey, he's the hard ass. They're going to fucking touch. I mean, if you've seen hickeys, you know they've already sucked on each other. So.
But that's the thing. Like, then why make them keep the door open?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's like y'all are just deluding yourselves into the idea that they're not having sex. I'm like, they're not having sex in your house, maybe, but
right. But then you can also like, I don't know. Like I think about Wesley, and he might be 13, but mentally he's like 6.
Yeah, he's very immature.
So if he had a girl at the house, they would be on my couch and I would be on the other couch facing them, because he is so very mentally immature. But he would not wrap that shit up. He would not, he wouldn't take care of himself.
Agreed. But at the same token, let's say he's 16. Do you think you're going to stop him from having sex?
I'm going to try my damnedest. Because I don't want no grandbabies, and he's stupid enough to listen to a girl that says, I'll take care of them and I want a baby.
I agree, but at the same time, I think we, as parents, we delude ourselves into thinking that we're stopping something, especially at that age.
Unless he's like your little brothers and he's doing shit in the lockers of the gymnasium during school time. I'm going to know where the fuck that boy is after school.
Well, you also probably wouldn't let him have a girl in the house ever.
No.
Yeah, I can't.
And it's not like it's me being mean. It's just because he's so mentally young. He's going to get taken advantage of. That one girl is going to find him. Oh, I want a baby at 16.
Yeah.
They're going to find fucking him because he's going to be 8 years old at that point mentally. Because he's so far behind.
But you don't think if he did meet a girl that was... All right, so let's say he's dating a girl and you're unsure what's going on. You wouldn't be like, okay, I know you're going to be having sex. You may not be doing it. Like, I know you're going to be having sex. You wouldn't be like, just have it in the house, but please make sure it's wrapped up.
I don't think I could, because mentally he's so young.
But do you think you're stopping it from happening?
No.
Then what's the problem?
I don't know. But there's
I think you would have a bigger problem of having just a weird kid in your house that he's fucking.
Possible. And my worry is, because my son is an African American, and it seems he likes the whites or the Caucasian girls, that he's going to get locked up for statutory rape.
See,
because in Alabama, there's only like a 2-year difference.
But I think I would if I was raising if I had Justin from a younger age, I'd be like, I'd much rather know who the girl is and make sure it's like I have some say over it, and they're not doing it in they're not public indecency laws or shit like that. I'm like, as long as you two are wearing a condom, I'd be talking to the girl too. I'm like, this idiot is going to get you pregnant because he's dumb. So make sure, and I don't know if he's got an STD, so make sure he's got a condom on him.
But see, I don't think Wesley would bring a girl to the house. I really don't think he would.
Yeah. So what are we talking about?
I don't think he would try.
I think he will eventually.
I don't think he will, to be honest. I'm not trying to be delusional or anything like that. But I don't think because of our relationship that he would try. I think he would be more apt to go to her house than bring her to my house.
Would you be okay if those parents allowed them to have sex?
I mean, as long as dad doesn't come out with a fucking shotgun and try to shoot my son. I mean, I can't stop that because...
Well, would you be comfortable if they came over and told you, like, we're cool if they come over and have sex?
I don't think a parent would ever do that, to be honest.
I mean, if Justin's girlfriend's parents ever showed up at the house, I'd be like...
But that was 17. That's a difference than 13.
I'm talking... But we're talking hypotheticals when they're 15, though.
Well, you gotta talk... Well, that's 15. He was 17, so we can't talk hypotheticals about 15.
This whole situation is hypothetical.
No, it's not. I don't know how I will feel in a year, 2 years, or 4 years from now, to be honest. Okay. Because right now, he doesn't act like he knows anything about it. But then he's also said that he has done it. So I don't know where I am at this point. So it's all up in the air, to be honest.
Well, I know, but I guess my question is...
So if he were to bring a girl, I would imagine that I would ask the girl's parents, y'all okay with this too? Because I don't want statutory rape. I'm so scared of statutory rape with Wesley because we're in Alabama and he likes the Caucasians. And I really don't want daddy to be mad because daughter slept with a black boy. That is my fear. Okay. I don't want him to be considered a child predator because he was 19 and she was 17, and that's the 2 years, and the state of Alabama doesn't care. So I guess I would ask the other parents, and be like, would y'all do this? Like, so that there's no shotguns or that's what's in my mind. Shotguns. Okay. White dad and a shotgun. That's all I think about. For real. That's all I think about with the way that the world is right now and him being black.
Fair enough.
I'm scared of it, to be honest.
For our 25 listeners, let us know what you think.
I mean,
how much is too much?
I don't know. And then also bring in biracial couples because that's who he likes. He has not said, I like this black girl. And all his quote unquote girlfriends since he's been 8. There's not been a black one. They've all been white or biracial.
Maybe he wants a white girl to yell at him like that.
I mean, he might. I mean, I think the foster family that was going to adopt him that didn't adopt him, I think they were white. So maybe he has a thing about the whites because of that. I don't know.
Yeah. That's why I gave this story to you, because I was like, this would be a good, interesting story, because you're not quite there, but it's close. Like it's in spitting distance of because he's gonna be 14 in February, so it's spitting distance.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen, but I just don't know what I will do because we're not there yet. So
it's just a thought.
It's hard.
It's a thought experiment.
It is very. I'm okay with cuddling.
Okay.
Because that was what the story was about, was cuddling, not like full-on sex.
Yeah. Would you if he did bring a girl home, would you make him keep the door open?
Oh, yeah. My mama did. I still got hit.
Trash. Mm-hmm. All right. So let me remind real quick. All right. So title is Adopted Parents of Reddit. Why did you pick that specific child to adopt? So the post says, I wasn't adopted, nor did I adopt my current... Oh, okay. Hold it. I wasn't adopted, nor did I adopt, but my current job has me a personal assistant to a woman who was adopted and is looking to adopt. Her mom and dad picked her because she was born because the birth mother didn't want to or couldn't take care of her once she was born. I think it just happened by chance that they ended up picking her because, as she is now finding out, adopting is a hellish process for everyone. She's looking to adopt now herself, and it's definitely not a fun activity. She has to run out with her husband to a cluster of meetings to try to prove that they're good candidates for an adopted child every few months. It seems like hoop after hoop, and they haven't even seen a child yet. It seems like hoop after hoop, and they haven't even seen a child yet that they could even look at it, which is another aspect that feels a little fucked up but efficient. Children are posted online at these adoption agencies like a pet shelter with pictures and little blurbs about them, like this beautiful little angel has had a rough life but is looking for someone to turn that around, loves ice cream and glitter, That sounds familiar.
And Shakespeare.
Yep. I suppose that's faster than physically going down to see them, but it feels weird. Not related to my boss, but I know a woman who adopted a child from Romania. I think her and her husband were on business and happened to meet these children somehow. I'm not sure of the details, but it took them 5 years of trying to adopt this little boy to actually get him. Apparently a lot of corruption, surprise, surprise, runs in the child adoption over there, here. And they kept having to bribe different / the same people to push things along. She told me one time the boy remembered them every time they went back and would look like his entire world was collapsing every time they left without him. Her husband died like a year before she got the boy, and she kept going alone. Damn. Really sad, but the little boy is the happiest little shit in the world. He's like a giggling ferret.
Okay. It's a weird description, a giggling ferret.
Yeah. But I think there's two things to unpack here with that post. The adoption process is fucked up in general.
It is shopping for a kid, definitely.
And it is icky beyond all belief.
Yeah. It feels like you're...
It feels like you're shopping for a person.
It is.
And it is very uncomfortable.
It is.
But, like, what is the alternative? You take these kids, like, you show up at a fucking orphanage and be like, here's your prospective parents. Yeah. Look at the zoo of children we have here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a god-awful experience. And I think, for me, I think the reason they don't meet the kids is because they're trying to protect the kids. You don't want them to have to, like, meet parent after parent and it just doesn't work out. They'd break their little fucking hearts.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't... adoption is god-awful for the parents, but it's even 10 times worse for the kids.
Especially if they've been told they're going to get adopted. And then turn around and get dropped off at DHR. That fucks with the kid, and that fucks up the next person who gets that said kid. Yep. Because that is what happened to Wesley.
Yeah,
and it really sucked.
It is it's an impossible situation.
Yeah.
And there is a ton of corruption in the whole thing. Like, even in the American side.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be that the church would just be like, oh, you should be ashamed of having a baby out of wedlock. Let me just snatch it from you and give it away.
Or they would just have killed that said child.
Yeah.
And said, oh, someone adopted it.
But.
I mean, so... I don't have much experience because I went through my class. I got a nibs on a 16-year-old boy that broke his aunt's arm and was like, nope.
So for our listeners, NIBS stands for non-identifying biography statement.
Yep. And then I got a girl. I think she was 16.
She got the nibs of a girl.
Yep. And she lied about being molested by her coach and somebody else. And on her, I went back and forth because I didn't really want a girl because I was like, I don't really know anything girly. And of course, like in my mind, I would get a girl that wants to be a cheerleader and wants to be very, very girly. And that is not me. I'm not girly in any way, in my opinion. So I was like, I want a boy because I can do boy things.
How many boy?
Basketball and...
How many times have you played basketball?
I mean, not played, but I cheered his team on. I was okay with that part.
I'm just fucking with you.
I know. And that's why I'm not saying really much on that. And then I got Wesley. And then I met him. And then he spent a weekend. And then they were like, oh, he's about to go to another foster family. So he either has to do that or he's at your house. And then he ended up at my house. It was a crazy whirlwind of how I got my child. But I got him. And now I have to figure out what to do with him. Yep. So it is shopping for kids when you go on the Heart Gallery, which is the Alabama website, like where you can see all the kids.
Now, these are the kids who their parental rights have been terminated or they're very close.
Yes.
Anyone, if they're in the foster care system, they're not going to post anything.
Yeah, because I was adamant I didn't want to foster a child that hadn't had the termination of parental rights or TPR, because I knew in my heart I couldn't foster a dog and then give him away, let alone a kid. So, like, I would fall in love too quickly and then be heartbroken having to give it back.
Yeah.
And not it, but them, you know. So I was adamant, I'm not going to foster a kid without the TPR. And so I was good. I said 5 and up. I was like, I want the kid to not be in diapers, to be in school. I don't want to deal with daycare. And I was okay with that because the class that we went through were older kids that we would be able to adopt, I think, for up to the first year. And then it could be throughout the whole United States.
Yeah.
Like for the first year it would be Alabama or bust.
Right.
And then after that it could be, doesn't matter where, age-wise, it doesn't matter. And Wesley just kind of happened.
Yep. And that happened, like, that story is pretty common where you're sent a bunch of biography statements. Now, I will say for Zane and I, it was a bit different because we were a gay couple and we weren't sent a lot. We were sent one boy named Terry, and we met him, but Zane knew he was severe ADHD and untreated, and it stressed Zane out so much. He's like, I can't do this. I'm like, okay. So it broke my heart because I was so just ready.
Yeah.
And it's probably,
and you're just very sensitive person
very
in general.
tender-hearted.
Yes.
But it's most likely a good thing that he did us. And we had a couple of other near misses with little boys who thought they might be gay, but it just didn't work out. We ended up we found Justin because he had, we ended up settling on Justin because he was older and he was 17, but he didn't have any diagnoses. Like he didn't have anxiety or trauma. He didn't have behavioral problems. I think he was a little bit behind in school, but nothing bad. He wasn't constantly in trouble. So that's how we ended up settling on him. But it's just it's an icky process.
It is. To say settle is kind of icky too.
That's not a, well, I mean, but when you have a lot of options, I just meant like he's the one we decided we went with.
You picked on.
Yeah.
You picked not on, but you
picked him.
But it is like I said. You say settle, but you picked him.
Yeah.
But he was 17.
Yeah. And a lot could have gone wrong.
A lot could have. He could have been not diagnosed like Wesley. So Wesley didn't have ADHD. He didn't have anxiety. He didn't have ODD. And I got this boy, and I got him tested with a psychologist.
Yep.
And then he had all 3.
And he could read at the time, apparently.
Yeah. And then when I got him at 8 years old, he could barely tell me his ABCs and write them down. They fudge a lot of the information. Or the foster parents are just in it for the money.
Yep.
And they put the kid in front of a TV. Oh, he has no behavioral issues because you don't fucking try.
Yep.
And now I get the backlash of, oh, my foster family let me do whatever the fuck I want. Well, yeah, because they just wanted the fucking check and they didn't care about you. I care about you and I want you to advance in life. And now I'm the fucking bad guy because they just let the TV be your best friend and you were okay with it because you were watching shit you shouldn't have been watching.
Yeah.
And that really fucking sucks when there are people out there that just want that fucking check and don't care about the kids.
Yeah.
That'll just make them, sugar sandwiches and nothing else, and that's all they eat.
Yeah, and even like baby adoption is icky into itself because it's like most of the mothers out there that are giving up babies, like if they had financial support, they probably wouldn't give them up.
Yep.
Or if they had fucking contraception, or if they had access to abortion, or if they weren't molested by their fathers or uncles. We wouldn't be in the situation. Yeah. So it's just a icky situation in general. Very icky. So kudos to the woman whose, boss got just randomly handed off. That does happen, but it is not the standard.
Yeah.
My brother his mother was 15 when she got pregnant and she was pressured to give up the child. Same with Lindsay, a friend of mine who was on the podcast. Her mother was pressured to give up the baby by the Catholic Church. So it's just an icky situation.
It is.
All around.
Yep.
And
then parents should definitely talk to their children about birth and what can happen. Because, when that puberty hits, it can happen at 9 fucking years old, as we can see with Kalia.
Yeah.
12 years old with Wesley. Every kid is different. But the parent should not be, I don't know, shamed to talk to them and say, look, this is what happens when you put a pee-pee in a vagina.
Yep.
I mean, there's a baby that comes out of this. My mom, when I want to say she started when I was about 9 or 10. Anytime we went to a grocery store, anytime we walked by condoms, she made sure we walked by condoms, and she would say condoms really fucking loud. And at first I was like, Mom. And I mean, of course, there was no self-checkouts back then.
Yeah.
But she wanted to make sure that I would never be
awkward about it,
ashamed, or feel any type of anything. So anytime, condoms. Okay, Mom. Like after the 10th time, I'm like, okay, they're condoms.
Yeah.
And then, before she could say them, I was like, condoms, aisle 10. And she would be like, okay, good. Yeah. Because she was just trying to make sure that I would never feel any type of way going and buying. Because you see it all the time, like kids trying to hide it behind their back, or, like trying to sneak it or steal it because they don't want to show someone they're buying them. Fuck that.
Yeah, I agree.
And then if I had a girl, I'd be like, never buy Magnum. Because they're trying to show off. Because the majority of them do not need them.
Like my little brothers and with Kalia, I don't shame in general. So
that's true.
Yeah, I am the type of person who will be like, baby, this is what's happening to your vagina. This is, and I'll, even with my little brothers, I'm like, here's a giant pack of condoms. Like, never be ashamed. I will get you plan B. Like, this is nothing to be ashamed of or feel dirty about. Like, this is just your body. This is how it works.
Right.
Don't ever, but yeah.
Don't have a baby.
Don't. We're getting an IUD.
Because there is no reason a 15-year-old should have a baby.
But it does happen.
I mean, it does. And then we know many examples of this, but there is no reason they should. And now with Roe versus Wade being overturned, all that bullshit, we need to make extra, be extra careful.
Especially in the South.
Yes. Yeah. That should not happen because whatever.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm good with that.
But yes, like, to the person who wrote this, adoption is just
icky in general.
Yeah. And the one thing they always told us in our classes was that no matter how joyful the adoption is, an adoption always starts off.
Yes.
It's like you don't go to an adoption
without
some sort of loss.
I mean, the child has lost everything they've ever known.
Even a baby. Like, they've lost their biological parents.
And they know them.
Yeah.
Even though they might be 2 weeks old, they've heard voices. They've felt,
smell.
Yes, it is. It doesn't matter how old they are.
Yeah. So it's just a hard thing to go through. And so, like, a lot of times we don't pick the kids. They pick us a lot of times because we realize we get to meet them. It's like, oh, I can't be you because I'm just not a good fit for you.
Yeah.
But it is... Ugh.
It's hard.
It's hard.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Because then the kid's wondering, why didn't they pick me?
Yeah. So, to the person who wrote this, that's the reason you don't meet the kids. Because it would just tear their little fucking hearts out to be rejected constantly.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Mm-mm. I've heard in California they actually have, like, adoption day picnics where they have a gaggle of kids and you go, like, adoptive parents go meet them. Yeah. That sounds slightly horrific to me.
I mean, if the kids don't know why they're there, they're just there to have a fun day at the park, I think it's okay for the kids on that part.
But I mean, how would anyone over 14 not know?
I mean, if you're, they probably would. And so then you're just like, hey, keep your expectations low. Most people like babies. Yeah. I don't know. Because no one really adopts the older kids. Yeah. And I don't know why. Because you got Justin, and he's still part of your life, and he has grown.
Well, the same reason you didn't adopt the one you did. I mean, because
yes, but mine. I mean, I knew he broke his aunt's arm. I'm by myself.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that's why though. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. But Justin, he liked Shakespeare. He watched dishes. He sat on the porch swing. I can't remember what else he did.
Jennifer is referring to a video that
his little video was so cute that it wasn't any There were no red flags.
I don't think the kid who broke his aunt's arm was going to be like, oh, this is the point in the arm where I broke my aunt's.
But that's all they gave me. They didn't give me the video off. They gave me the fact that he broke his aunt's arm.
Well, I know, but he's probably on the art gallery too, and with a lovely video.
If they would have given me the video and then the nibs, it might have turned out differently. You got the video and didn't get the nibs until after. So it really depends on, I guess, how you get the information.
Yeah, and it's icky.
And I got a kid who was no diagnosis, no ADHD, no nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom, he has everything.
A lot of it.
Oh my God. But I love my son. I might not like him sometimes, but I always love him. And I tell him that.
Well, I think it's pot.
So not another one? No. You're good?
Because we're already at an hour 20.
Well, look at us go. So, we just love the talk here on the podcast.
So for our 25 listeners, if you have any funny stories about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics, please
email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com.
Yep.
Jennifer, what do we have for snacks? You asked me. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, on snack time, you wrote a story.
I sure did.
So on snack time, we are eating mini stroopwafels.
Yes,
we like the big ones that we usually get at Costco, I think. Yeah. Luis is like all about these. Oh, yeah. But I saw some mini ones, and because we had already had lunch and we were stuffed, I thought some mini ones would be great, and I really enjoyed them. I ate all of mine.
I think I actually like them better
than the big ones. Yeah, because it's
less than it's just one little bite.
Yeah. Well, I had them in multiple bites.
Well, I did too, but like the big ones they're kind of intimidating because they're so big.
Ooh. Oh, Jason doesn't like them that big. All right, so we're now at story time. I think this is your story time. I don't know which one we're doing. So
we're doing what Jennifer's talking about in our outline. I usually put the snack time where we have, and then I put story time, and I put in the snack time the story time. So since you shared your story time last time, it's mine. So I was struggling to think of a story to tell about Kalia. I was like, what do I have about Justin? So I started walking to his room to go ask him, and I'm like, oh wait, I know one. It's more about me than it is Justin, really. But I was so Justin was 17 or 18 probably, and it was probably like April, maybe. I think it was the spring semester of his junior year, and I picked up my little brothers Matt and John from school, and then I picked them up, and we were going to go pick up Justin from his high school called Columbia High School in Huntsville. And so we're waiting, not in the car line, but out front, and I had just had a Diet Coke, and I burped.
Oh my God. And your burps are so fucking loud when you have a Diet Coke.
And it stank. And I was watching Justin come up, and I belted out this nasty burp, and I was like, oh goddamn. And I got in the car, or Justin got in the car, and as soon as he got in the car, he's like, who farted? And John and Matt just bust out laughing. I was like, sorry, that was my burp.
Because as soon as you have that Diet Coke, you're like roll down the window so quick and just it's just crazy how
Satan leaving
loud and long that burp can get.
They're quite impressive.
They are with that Diet Coke. Diet Dr. Pepper. Yeah. Because I don't know. Like, I thought I had some good burps, but you did. I don't think mine are stinky. They might be, but I don't think so. But yours.
They can be. A lot, especially if I've eaten something they can sit. But I don't know what I'd eaten that day.
I don't know. But that is hilarious.
So if you're ever stuck in a car with me, I roll down the window. It's not so I can fart. It's because I can burp.
Yep.
So, all right. So thanks for all our 25 listeners for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
If you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask if they can have a Stanley Cup, even though it costs $45.
Tough shit. We're going to Five Below and getting one of theirs.
You don't need a $45 goddamn mug.
Nope, not at all.
Bye
guys.